Hello, everybody. This is Kim. How's everyone today? I have my wonderful friend Adam DeArmon here with us. And Adam, how are you today?
Hi, good afternoon. Very well. I'm doing great. Yes, a nice sunny day here in Arizona.
It's getting really nice, really super nice. I was planning to come out to Sedona with my girlfriends, maybe in about a month or two, and so we'll be doing some hiking. But if you have anything going there, let me know. We'll go and support what you're doing. But anyways, so Adam, tell me just a little bit about yourself briefly, and I know people know who you are. You are a spiritual. Uh, uh, Gosh, there's so many. Let's go ahead. You tell me what you do.
There's many names that I've been called. We work with the holy medicines, the plants, the earth. So in that form, I'm a man, and they say, well, you're considered medicine man, or we help people. We help guide people how to fix themselves. So there's many names they've called me. But I want to go by the original name and instructions that my mother gave me is Adam. And what is an atom? What does that mean to and is a man of the earth? From the ancient traditions that name comes from. So I can live by that and feel comfortable with that name. And sometimes they give me good names, and sometimes people say bad names. But we take that with a grain of salt there. And so yeah, it's just a really good expression for me to be in this time of the rejuvenation and the restoration of Mother Earth and our humanity in this time. That's one of my number one focuses. How can we do that for our future generations?
Exactly. This is a really important time. I know it, and I'm getting back into that aspect of my work. Um, and so you've been kind of studying the indigenous ways since you were 7, right? You kind of
Correct.
learned. Did you start out with the Lakota, or did you start somewhere else and then work your way through the different cultures?
Yeah. So long story short, because it's quite a journey,
Yeah.
but I was raised by my mother and father, and they were very multicultural by aspect. So I started off with a transcendental meditation at the age.
Uh oh.
Oop, we lost.
No, you're there.
Hello,
Yeah, you're there. Can you hear me?
still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes,
Go ahead.
we're still live, correct?
Yes.
So started off at the age. Yeah, someone was calling in, so I guess it throws it off on the.
Yeah.
Started at the age of 7, and with transcendental meditation, and that was all about transcending the thought and embodiment and to really find the inner core. So we studied from many traditions from around the world. So again, I sat and I would meditate, and I'd have a walking mantra also, and it was all about consciousness building, raising my awareness, raising my consciousness. um, Up till I was 19 years old. Then I have was taken to the Standing Rock Reservation with my mother, because they had been around the ceremonies and sweat lodges for many years. So I had been running around as a kid through the ceremonies and sweats of the Lakota and different peoples. And so eventually I got brought there, and I was blessed to be able to do a ceremony with them and then welcome back, and began my training from a very young age, 19, 20 years old. Started getting into the ceremonials, the bigger perspective of those traditions of the Lakota people. And in that process, started meeting different nations from around the Americas and around the world. So that foundation, being with my Hunkpapa flying by family, those roots allow me to really ground in, to be able to receive the different knowledge from around and throughout the Americas, North America, Central America, and South America. So that was the basis foundation in which led me through vision, dream, insight, and direction of my inner self to be called forth to different regions around North America, Central America, and South America.
So, Adam, it's true that for anybody that wants to start on this kind of path, because I think eventually people do want to take that spiritual path and experience, you know, the spiritual ways and things. It always starts with meditation and going within, right? And then it starts with becoming more aware and developing your consciousness and things like that. And then at some point you do get in touch with the source or the creator source. And I term it light, you know, because then the light just starts filling you up, right? And then in that light, you do start getting wisdom and things that are, you know, come and they enter your heart or anything like that. What is the connection with meditating and your heart, you know, versus your brain? Is there something that we aren't aware of?
I believe through my research and development on many levels of meditation and groundedness and connecting to the spiritual worlds, that there's a certain thread or a certain fabric or a certain geometry, a certain pattern or a certain imprint, a certain cosmology, birth chart, however you want to call that, astrologically, that each of us come in to this planet. In that system, from the spirituals, from the heavens above, and in the symbology of our incarnated body at that time of what I call from pre-essence into the present, we carry this makeup of this fabric, which I would call the golden thread. So the golden thread is also a part of the material world. So it's part of this Earth Gaia, or the planet of our world. And so we never lose that connection from origin. We could say God's self, we could call it Star Nation or cosmic awakening or connections that we would find through meditation. So this, let's say this thread is inside of our heart. Now, what I've heard too, and quote me if I'm wrong or still learning scientifically or however they discover these things, is that the first thing that comes in life is through your heart. Like that's what's born, and then from there the rest of your body forms. I truly believe it, that the golden thread, the fabric of the cosmic origin of all creation, is seated in that. And with our meditation practices, with our practices of connecting to earth or certain elements, which each person, each man or woman or being here on this planet would have certain responsibilities, awakens the heart in that way. So for me, it would be different to you or to your children or to my children or to our friends. So when we awaken this heart, our heart, this golden light thread, and connect it to the fabric of this earth and to Gaia, which could be looked at as the flower of life and sacred geometry and other formalities, that it vibrates. It's vibrating at a certain frequency and an awakening consciousness that's it almost let's say buffers the cellular makeup and the atoms within inside of our bodies, and it illuminates them, which then expands and opens this heart. And we can look at this as the toroidal field experience. We could look at this as the free energy, the resource of human consciousness, as we open up our rejuvenated energy, as we are connected to cosmic source and to this earth, as well as planets from around the world and the galaxy, that then we begin having different experiences or awakenings or meeting different tribes and different kinds of people. And so in essence, that's where I believe for myself, in my tithing to the golden thread and tithing to cosmic origin, or to the pre-essence that brings me into the present, that's where I get my consciousness. That's where I'll get my the thought form. and and I truly believe there's a thought form resonant on Gaia, Mother Earth, on the planet already for thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. And so my consciousness is interphasing with the consciousness of the Earth at present. And at present, we see what's transpiring in the world. Well, the same transpiring energies as the good or bad, which we may call it, are also taking place with the sun and moon and the inner reflectant, as above, so below. So the balances that are needing to adjust or take place within inside of our cells, our memory internally, is balancing that sun and moon. And I really see that's in my research, in my prayer, I see that's what's going on too, is that harmonization. And as we find that on deeper levels and keep going, then these different experiences or different awakenings or new connections or new teachers may arise in one's life.
Wow. So that's so amazing because, number one, people think that when you meditate or you start your spiritual journey that you're kind of disconnected, like you're just in the clouds or you're just out there in the stars. But they don't understand how important it is to be connected to Gaia. Right?
Yes.
Correct. What? So you were saying that there is a thought form here on Gaia.
Yeah,
is it? Can you explain that a little bit?
So every system or organ or aspect of material, crystals, crystal, you have quartz crystal, you have rose quartz, you have garnet, all, gold. Every one of these elements has a different consciousness, has a different message, has a different expression. You can go to a crystal store and you can see that from their perspective, whoever analyzed that stone or that crystal is giving a certain spiritual or physical or properties, a message from that stone. That's as an example. Even oil, even water. So all these hold that. Now the earth and all its elements and all her elements and all of her creation has her story. We've been taught and trained of history and the ability for us to create the man's story or the history of creation of how it's going to be and how it was. Well, her story, the consciousness and the beingness, already has the original story, already has the original thought, already has the place of origin where they illuminate where the origin of crystal. This crystal would be set here, this crystal's here, this energy's here, this oil's here, is in placement of the harmonics and harmonizing story of the vibrational energy, the information, and one that could root themselves from the spiritual knowledge of, let's say, cosmic origin or place of origin of God's self, from pre-essence to be present in this time, grounded with the elemental properties of wood, earth, air, fire, metal, all these elements, water. Then we begin to listen. We can attune ourselves to her story, and that again would have to come, I believe, from the origin of not thought. It'd have to come from the golden thread, the origin of heart, and that circulating through the groundedness and the connection. It's about a connection to the earth. We're already part of divine source. We're spirit incarnated in this container embodiment. Now take that principles and truly resonate and connect with origin. And each of us has that. That's what this charge, birth charge, your time where you came, your interrelationship with the mother, with your biological mother, with the mother of the earth, with the biological father, with the creation of the sun, and onward and beyond the different systems. and it's all here within inside of our bodies. You know, our organs, our heart, our different elements, our thought, our hair, everything in same relations as above, so below is in the earth. So the deeper I get connected to the physiology of my creation as man and the geometry and the different aspects in relation to the earth, may I be able to receive her story, her thought. She actually, the mother, our planet, has original thought and instructions. So
Wow.
that in my life, what I strive to achieve and listen as the wind and the chimes go here, and I look at the different aspects. The essence of wind as I talk touched me. Now this is the unseen. So the wind, she just blew her breath, or the breath of the energy on the unspoken, or through numerology and A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm not even going to be able to identify and explain the essence of that wind, but it's the knowingness and the connectivity. What is that voice? What is that knowingness? And so, yeah,
so
these the children can, as you're a child, a young girl, young woman, a young man, young boy, we have that connection.
Adam, that's so important to be connected. And then the more, I mean, you can't just do it overnight, people, right? It's something that is a lifelong journey to appreciate and to connect to the various elements and things. How, and you said children, when they're born, they are connected like that. How does a person get disconnected? I mean, so disconnected to where, you know, they just don't, I don't know, they're just disconnected. How do we get disconnected?
Well, through my own experience, my own disconnections, the origin would come from other thought patterns, other ideologies, other man or woman. The laws of man would encrypt itself or be told upon me, or the direction or the directive of what I should be doing or how I should do that. All these little, I mean, that could be a whole topic in itself, but all these little incidences of yes and no, and red and blue and black and 1, 2, 3s, and so the formalities of man that we've created to construct this blueprint that we have, what we call today freedom, but is true freedom the construct of 1 through multi-millions back to 0, or is the true freedom the relinquishing of the unknown and releasing all of that formality? What would that lead to? The unknown, and maybe fear, anxiety, and this is sort of where we are today. Nobody knows. Going to get back to the normal. Well, the normality of what was will never be, and what we want to create will become our creation, our reality. So, for example, how does this happen? When you get your license and you start to drive, and you see a stop sign, well, it tells you to stop. Things have been laid out before us in the direction we're going before we even get there. So a well thought out plan of human, or the man self, without allowing the God self and the divinity of creation to share its finest expression, would stop us from the direction we're going. And we go along with this every day. But if in creation's motion, a stop sign is there to stop you, but what is the symbology of the red in the training of the red? Red's like fire and go. So we've been, the way I work with this is almost transcribe it backwards in my mind through the right left brain, recalibrate that to show me the direction I truly need to go. I've had to encrypt and transcribe and interpret it in a backwards way so that I can find my direction and know the right way or left way or the direction I want to go.
That's powerful.
So it's a deep practice in your mind. So and it's a mirror of reality. I truly believe, whether it's partnership or your manifestation as an individual, the divine marriage is a mirror image of thyself, the inner expression and the outer expression. So as we seek this marriage, this union, in our expression of everything we're seeing on the outside as a collective now going on in the world, is everything that was unkept and taken care of with inside of ourselves. So we can go on and on about what we're seeing and what's going on economically, health wise, relationship wise, family wise, and the separation actually has occurred inside, and we've become disconnected with the laws of origin and her story. So as we fix this and as we return back to the heart, as we get back to that golden thread and that essence, is where we can find the transformative energies to create new life, to create the world as we'd like to see it.
So we're just being led astray constantly. We're just being led around. And like you said, until you kind of backwards think it or stop and rethink it and rebalance yourself, you'll just keep going down that merry path. And then next thing you know, you're so way out off your true trajectory where you want to be, that you're like, oh my God. And then you have to crash everything around you, right?
Yes.
Everything just crashes. Yeah. And then you're like, dirt. And then you try to backpedal, and that's not good either. So, I mean, what is your advice when people just, everything just, when they come to that realization, wow, I got to get back to my roots, you know?
Yeah.
Advice?
Well, number one, where did we come from? Our mother. And if it's your biological mother, whether she's alive or not, you can go back to the pre-essence. And then you can do the same thing with your father, whether your biological father. Go back to the pre-essence and of where you became into the womb. Go back into that space. And that could be 0 point. Maybe that's 0 point for us in some formality, and go back to the place of origin, but it's the pre-essence of arrival. Is that hard? Could be mentally. Just find that place, and whatever that place looks like for you, so an acknowledgement, honor the mother. And there's practices for this. There's practices of attuning yourselves to the mother, to your mother, and to your father. A lot of us have things with mother and father. Well, my mom said this, my father said this was going on with them. So this lineage has been going on for a long time, which dismantles and may confuse us, because the harmony was broken between a lot of us, the harmony between our mother and fathers, and then we continue that. So if we go back to that, unify that, weave that back, no matter how good, bad, or indifferent it was for mother or father, and weave that back, not only with your biological mother and biological father, but do that with the earth, do that with the sun, do that with your outer creation, do that with the moon. Weave this in a form, and I know it can be sort of complex. What does he mean by weaving? Like, tithe yourself, see yourself around your mother, around your father, see yourself, and what is that around the sun and the moon and the earth, and how does that feel? So go back, like, everybody, every human has that capability. Yes. And we have to stop. You don't even have to say, I'm going to meditate, folks, because people are like, oh, he's going to meditate, or consciousness. Yeah, Anybody can do this, whether you're a corporate or a business person, or the greatest Dalai Lama or monk in the world, or our relatives way up in the mountains. Anyone can do this. When you take that moment to be in what I call, again, the pre-essence, and be with thyself, that's one of the, and from there, the knowingness and the guidance. So now you've come to a stop sign, all HELL's broken out, and the towers have fallen, and the virus is hit, and there's a whirlwind, and the hurricanes are going. What do? Like, what is in the eye of the storm? The calm. So just find that place. You still have that. We're all incarnated. Those that are beingness and in this formality in this time. We're in that, find that place, and then from there, that's where you can find direction.
Yes.
And not from any other man or woman, but your mother, your father, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, and all the lineages behind held that essence. And
Yes.
the one free essence, you just come back to that. And you don't even need to know what that is. The knowing will by nature come, because that's all this. The essence of grace is all around us.
That's powerful. That's so powerful, because really it's just like recentering yourself, recentering. And something special happens when you go out into nature. When you like feel the wind, you hear the trees rustling, you can hear the water flowing, you feel the sun, the birds are singing. It just puts everything back into perspective. How hard we make our lives, how totally complicated it doesn't have to be. You know, a lot of people do need to get back to nature. It's like getting back to the mother, or it's like going home. And so
Yes.
thank you for that. That was awesome. That gave me chills. I wanted to remind you where I first met you in 2015. You had that conference where the mamos from Colombia came, and there was some other wisdom keepers that spoke. And I wanted to let everybody know that it was a 3-day conference, or
Yes.
whatever. Okay. I took notes of the entire experience, and the notes, there's definitely out. It even smells like it.
What's the one that just fell out? What was
you know what? That's just a picture. I don't know how that got there.
Oh, okay.
Just a picture. But I'm going to be doing a podcast where I read and I go through some of these notes. But I just wanted to tell you some of my experiences. That was the first time that I actually knew I was telepathic, or that telepathy was real.
Yeah.
So I remember on, I don't know, the second or third day, some of the mammals were sitting right in front of me. And I put on some, which is the smell, amber oil, amber. And I immediately heard them say, "Who's sitting behind us?" In my mind, I heard, "Who is sitting behind us?" And I said, "It's me, Kim." You know, so I was totally amazed by that experience. But there is a message that I did want to share today of what I wrote down. Among the many messages. Okay, where is it at? Did you want to tell us the name of the conference while I'm looking for, do you remember?
I believe it was called, we did many conferences throughout the Americas at that time and in South America. I believe it was called The Dawn of the New Time. Is that?
Yes. That's it.
Yeah, so that was about the cycle. You know, we had 2012, and 2012 was about, you know, a lot about the doorways that were opening up, and that was perspective of the Mayan and the Mayan calendar, but a lot of other calendars and a lot of other doors from many global indigenous peoples were opening at that time to raise consciousness. But this is a process through time where that's moving. So all of our conferences would have a lineage or her story to them from the beginning of time that I started doing the conferences all the way back in the early 2000s. And so the dawn of the new time was, we have arrived. So we went through the door 2012, and here we are, we've gone through the door, and now this is humanity's calling. This is what, so we brought the holy ones from the mountains, the Kogi and Ayahuasca elders that had been there for over 500 years and thousands of years, but over 500 years they returned down to come to North America to share and to transmit. You talked about telepathy. They had voice and word or the language, but the frequency and vibration that they were bringing to Sedona and to each individual that was there was about the awakening, the dawn of the new time. What not only the Kogi and Iwako and the Mamos have is what you have, what your family and what each of the people at the conference in the world have the possibility of that ancient technology of telepathy and connection to the thought of the mother. So that was one of the main intentions of that.
Yeah, they really honor the mother. They and for those of you that are listening when I do the podcast, I'm really going to share. This is such an amazing notes. And they, one of the things that they said about the mother or the women that, like the moon, women have different phases that they go through, right? And men are supposed to honor and support those phases, so men and women should be working in harmony, and that how important it is for the women's knowledge and experience and vibration and healing and all those things that are so important. And so that's one of the things that I try to bring forth is how important it is to honor the mother and the father.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Really quick. So here's what really struck me today. So when you're going down this path and you're learning about the wisdom and you choose to live your life in a productive way and you want to make a difference, what they say is to live your life with purpose. Be purposeful. It's what you love to do. It's your creative passion coming alive to serve the planet. Live with purpose. You think you don't matter, but by thinking that way, you affect dozens of people. Love yourself, respect yourself, grow yourself. Grow your being, water yourself. So that gives me the chills, what do you think about that? Is that something that people can learn to do, is to live with a purpose?
Yes. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, yeah, that's breaking up a little.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm going to move, see if it's my connection. How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so living with the purpose, is that what we're...
Living with purpose, doing what you're creative.
Yeah, so again...
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So living with the purpose, I think that would also come into being is we each were given, if you understand astrology, and for those that might not, I encourage you to go out and find out more of Vedic astrology, other astrology from ancient traditions, is that we each come with a gift. Not what we're told that you got to get a job and you got to become a doctor, you got to work, as a carpenter, landscaper. Now those might be tools along your way, but in divine source of what you already came with the original language. We each came with that knowledge and information. Every element, that's why we use paper from the trees. That's why we use the ink, but it used to be the ink from the flowers and the element, is because that information's already there. So what is it? How is it to be, truly, what you came here to do? So one way, what I did, and what I teach people to do is we go seek, if you can't find it, or your mother and father or family hasn't been there to show that to you, we would seek vision or insight or guidance. So I was raised by many elders, and where we would go fast on the hill and we would go pray, and we'd have our wise ones when we returned down, whether it was 1 day, 4 days, There's many ways to fast and pray. And then interpretation of the dreams, visions, and insights. For example, one time I fasted, I said, what can I do in my life at this time? You know, I'm having a hard time. I was struggling at that time as a teenager. I was hanging out with all my buddies. We were just doing things that maybe weren't so good, you know, that wasn't the direction that I wanted to live my life. So when I had the initiation, when I did the fasting and praying on the hill, I received, go help the youth, go help.
Wow.
Like children came to
Yes.
me, is like, help the teens, because your life struggles or your life's process, what you've been going through as a teenager, that expression, that was an experience. Now you can share that with other teens, with youth. And then I started doing that, which started nurturing. It's all about nurturing and taking care of thyself. So
Mm-hmm.
from the vision of helping the children was helping my inner child, was helping myself, which then allowed me to open up continuously. I would fast again and pray again with the help and guidance of my elders and have the initiations. And through those initiations, then I was to say, wow, you know, not only am I helping the future generations, but I can also help the holy ones, the elders. I was getting the message for me personally to go help and unite the elders. I started at a very young age putting together events and gatherings and joining around the sacred fire, or it could be the water or air, earth, the elements. And then so that's how I got into, and that was all in my charts. Everything was in my charts already. So why I say, when you astrologically, there's ancient traditions that hold that if you read in your charts where you are orbiting. So you have a plan of a cosmic plan, you have an origin plan of earth plan, you meld those together, the heavens and the earth, and then you orbit in certain times of your life to express or to do your duty. So it's an inspiration, and it doesn't stay the same all the time. What I'm going to be doing now with my life, I gather all the experiences from the different cycles and different orbits where I came in and out and cycled in and out, to now put that into the next cycle of my life. And it's actually inspiring, which would be, now I get to bring spirit in, be in spirit even on a deeper level to bring that in. So these are some tools, and that's what I share with people and teach people, and preferably on individual or more intimate levels with couples or families, is that, and it's all about the elementals being connected. There's a lot of mindset. You know, you can read charts, you can receive, okay, here you have there's what's it called, the human design, and there's many different aspects, but those are formalities and platforms that we can utilize. But ultimately, it's all inside here in the communications. So, and it changes. You know, people are like, I've been a doctor for 20, 30 years. I'm bored. I've been doing this my whole life. Well, that shifts. That can shift for the individual, and to be open and to be able to listen. And I think that's where the roadblocks comes, is we're not listening.
Right. Wow, that's so powerful.
Yes.
Adam, there's two things that I want to talk about next. The first thing is, I remember that you said that people, when they get around you, you can kind of like raise their vibrations or heal them or activate them or something just by being around you, was the first part. And if you want to talk about that for a minute. And then the second part is, tell us, now you do a lot of work spiritually with people one-on-one or in groups or in families, right? And then
Yeah.
tell us what you can do and what you offer, and then how they can get a hold of you and stuff. So
the first question again was,
just by being around you and your vibration. what is it that you do? You know, you can heal people just by being around you, or tell us about that, your energy.
Going through the conversation and the dialogue, if you listen to what I was sharing, and it's about the connectivity. So it's about my personal daily practice, my life's practice of being connected, whether it's visualization, whether it's meditation, whether it's just the outreach of my pre-essence incarnated in my body to be present. And so what I'm doing is connecting to all life as is in my daily life. So when I wake up, the expression, when I see the trailer or the metal or the trees or the home or the cars, I'm seeing a more profound expression of the car has a formality of a color, the metal, but I'm seeing and feeling the resonance between car and self. So am I identifying myself with car or self? I'm actually absorbing and feeling that. So it's the in-between space, or what the holy ones call the ancestral worlds, or some call the veil.
Yes.
So my work is to be able to live in that constant communication between what I'm seeing externally, to, like, I'm looking at a trailer over here, the home, or a plant, and where, for me, where that essence resides, the healing properties, or the energy, or the force that we see in Star Wars, or that we talk about through levitation and different things, is in that space. And so if I can resonate, and not, this is a practice all the time that I have to work towards, because the formalities of this world will pull us away from that connection, that's how I can work. So being in someone's space that may have a negative thought or having a hard time, I'm looking at and feeling and the expression of what's in that space. So whether that's divinity of love, whether that's God's creation or the manifestation, and but there's no separation either. So there isn't there's a separation of source. Let's say we're each individual, but I truly believe there's not a separation between you and me and the camera and all those others that are watching now. So, but I'm going to that essence. So that's where the healing, that's where the vibrational frequency, that's where the transformation comes about for me. And so, I see it as I close eyes or as I open eyes. Everyone has different perspectives. And that's where the Aluna, that's where the field, that's where Gaia Earth, the magnetic field is all the connectivity. And the fabric of this creation is formed, I believe. So that's how I do it. And at first, for many, many years, because I work with people with therapy, with healing hands-on, or visualizations. And so mastering that, working with the systems within inside of ourselves, then it gets to the point, like the Jedi say, or in Star Wars, you're working with a force. It's what it's beyond the spoken word or the formality. You're working with that force and asking and guiding, getting assistance to help us, a situation, whether somebody's got a headache, whether they've got a tumor in their body, whether they had a car accident, whether they've had a bullet in their body. And it's not to be known a lot of times, how did that happen? Why did this happen? Well, I've worked with people, officers that came into our ceremonies, going back to the bullet, and they had a bullet that they could never get out because it was actually lodged into their back by one of their nerves, and they never did surgery. They came and did a ceremony with us. All I did was connect with that field or that space in the ceremony. And I saw that being removed and visualized and prayed and asked for guidance. He asked for guidance and prayers. A month and a half later, I get a call back after that ceremony, and there's nothing there.
Wow.
Now, so can I explain? Can you explain? Can scientists explain it? It's the when I see something like that happen in my own life, or when I'm working with somebody, it's the origin of creation, that this manifest world, that this planet, the special unique qualities of Mother Earth and this environment, that sun, moon, creation, and the water, everything holds. And that's the gift of materialism. And in this, the formalities is way beyond our where we're at now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, A, B, C, Z, all of our color spectrums, which we utilize, but I sort of transmute those into higher frequencies and levels. And in those numerologies and in those colors and formalities, there's many vibrational levels. So it's just the connecting it. And anyone, again, can find that. And my gift is that, to work with you. Others are, gifting to create for other people, or building foundations for their homes, or restoring the oceans. And these are the avatars that are coming in this time. And my generation, probably your generation, we were the carriers and the door openers and the equalizers, the what do they call that? Manifestors, to help for these next generations. Catalyst. We were catalyzing and sort of moving the spectrum of creation, and now things are birthing even that much more. So yeah, what we can offer, I'm learning all about this type of technology. I do a lot of, we can do remote work. Interesting, you're calling forth in too. I've taken an 11-year sabbatical, a break from working with people on a remote level and or physical level present. 11 years, so that I can go into my deeper training. I was working all the time with individuals, families, and groups. And so now I'm at that door where I'm working with my pre-essence to walk through the door and come through now to begin that work again, after a lot of my deeper training in the mountains and the jungles and around the world. So it's very, very significant that you'd be calling forth this show here too.
There's a couple of things that I wanted to point out is everyone matters. Everyone. Okay, so I might feel drawn to do this or that or the other, and you do your thing. People, shouldn't like compete and then say, well, dang, how can I do that? No, find your own working, because it's like a puzzle. Each one has a different piece. Like, we can't all do the same,
Right.
but we can help each other, and we can build each other, and we can be present for each other. And that's one of the messages that I got from you, as far as, being around you, is you are present. You are present in that bubble of energy that's around you, that is touching their bubble of energy.
Yes.
So when you see like the that beautiful painting, I don't know who painted it, but it's God's hand coming down, and then human's hand touching.
Yes.
That's where it's happening. That's where the magic's happening, is when you are reaching out with your essence, and someone else is reaching out with theirs, and you're meeting in the middle. And if you if that's the veil or whatever, but that's being present, and that's being open. Are there times when you have to say, oh no, stop? You have to close down from being present.
I call it disconnect, not being present. What gets me a lot is the projections and the reflections, as male or female, or as authority figures in the world, start projecting or showing us, or showing me, like if I were to watch social media or the news, which I don't have a television, I have my cell phone, and feel that process, if I dive into that begins to disconnect me. If I begin to be around too much technological and without balancing the spiritual, that begins to, I allow myself not that they're doing this to me. I allow myself to have that disconnection or not be connected. There's also a place in the world of beingness. There's a place that, yeah, we need a rest. Like I took 11 years break, a rest. It was like I'm so perceptive and open. I'm working to allow yourself for your own personal integration, for your own personal.
Uh-oh. Adam, can you come back? Hold on, we're going to take a little station break, see if Adam can come back. There he is.
Oh, we disappeared for a second. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were talking about disconnecting, and sometimes we allow it. And then go ahead. You've been
so sometimes we allow it, and then so it take the 11 year. I took the 11 years and allowing ourselves to integrate. There's a huge in this line of work. There's a huge responsibility of the individual to integrate that time for their own personal healing, for their personal upgrade, for their personal furtherment of their gifts.
Yes.
So that, thank God, I have the elders and my elders and wisdom keepers or mentors that say, hey, you need to take a look at it and says, no, I got this, I know what I'm doing. No, we do an integration phase. And I think that's really, really, really important, and a reflection for thyself, not only for thyself, but do that, but then also that'll help the external world, our world, the world that we see happening now. I have a suggestion too, and a practice. Can you still hear me there?
Mm-hmm. I can still hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so I have a suggestion and a practice for everyone too, more than ever, is the Unif.
Uh-oh. Come back. Dude. Yay. Hello.
It just went out again. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have to move around. So I have a practice that may help humanity, which is helping me at this time, is that is people and government united. And so why would that be? Because that looks completely horrifying to a lot of us, or could look completely horrifying or nightmarish for me or for us. Well, the formality of the negative and positive polars, and then also the quote unquote governing powers to be, which when we unite the government and people come together, we have to do that in ourselves. So the authorities and the systems within inside of our own bodies, as we unite with them, we're uniting. First, we have to unite the systems and governing bodies in ourselves, in our consciousness, and we do that with the external governing bodies and systems. We'll transform that to actually get our outcome, what we want as a global people, as a global humanity. And it's our responsibility, and that's where the deeper work resides for me, and then I believe for humanity at this time, to take a look at that.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to be a hard one, but you're right. We do. We need to integrate, with the governments. I think that's what's happening right now. I think there's a lot of change, and people don't know what side of the fence that they're on. As long as they stay connected to their heart and stay balanced, if everybody can do their part, and I've been saying that everyone needs to do their part. So,
yes.
A couple more minutes. Do you work with people over the phone, or or do they have to come to you? Or
No, we can do over the phone. We can do something of this nature, Zoom or different aspects. I'm integrating my abilities to be able to work on systems of this nature, and they can call or email us or myself, and we can help. We can help them out, and as I'm helping and assisting others, may I be able to receive that in return too.
that
That wisdom and knowledge, because that's I also receive a lot for myself there too, and knowledge and wisdom.
before we go, you are working with, is it Tiffany, or is that your partner, Tiffany?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yes. And
Is Tiffany, tell us a little bit about, how'd you meet Tiffany, and what does she do? Does she, help run your ceremonies, or what does she do?
well, we've met through our churches, healing ministries, and which is one of our. We have Native American church. Each of us have a Native American church that we have built up and do our ministries through. And she's also a healer and a body worker, and so in that formality of discovering thyself and going on the deeper levels of commitment and relations and making relations, we came together, and we've been together now so that we can go forth through our ministries, through our work and individual lives, and together to be able to share our gifts, our healing modalities, our inspirations, and our encouragements to the individuals and families, and to those that come to us for that. So we'll be working on other programs and future work here to come on how can we do this individually as women, as men, and as our families and loved ones. And we'll be sharing that in the months to come of how we can and do that together in partnership, and do it together, in a wholesome way, to be there for our beloved men and women and our families.
Wow, that sounds beautiful. Shout out to Tiffany. Hopefully I can meet her one day. And Adam, how can people get a hold of you? We've got just a couple more minutes, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I have a website, adamdearmon.com. You can check out. We have another website, www.icsaw.com, which stands for ICSAW, which is the International Center of Spiritual and Ancestral Wisdom. That's the foundation where we do a lot of our work and our ministry through. And there should be a phone number, but most likely if you can send an email and contact us that way. And if you can't show up in person, I'm right outside of Sedona now residing. Send us an email, and we'll see how we can help and assist you. And we're just ever so grateful to be able to give this transmission today to each and every one of you. And may this golden thread and vibration of what I've shared here be resonant and work for you on the most highest.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Adam, thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and thank you for the wonderful message. It really meant a lot to me, and I just feel really good. My heart feels good today.
Yes, you're welcome, and bless all of our lives, and look forward to meeting again.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's going to do it for now. Thank you, Adam. Talk to you later.
All right. Be well, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Cool, cool, cool. That's a dear friend of mine. And Luann, if you're listening, we need to do a road trip. But anyways, I'll be on tonight, middle of the night, kind of like 1 a.m. with Marco Missinato. And that's going to do it for today. Talk to you later. Hope everyone tunes in tonight.